So now you know how to navigate the home port, but now you have a new problem. You have no idea what these ship types people keep talking about are. Sit tight, and by the time this video is over you will have a basic idea of all the ship types in the game.
KanColle 始まるよ。
What are battleships? Imagine you have a termite infestation. The normal way to deal with it is with termite spray. But no, you are progressive men and women of fine culture, the normal way is for weak mortals. No, you go for the big brain move and bring out a BFG to kill them all. That's what battleships are, but on a boat in the ocean. In the game, battleships are there to take the heaviest beatings and deliver killer death metal, the likes that would make the Swedes look like pop stars. Battleships are the only class capable of equipping armor-piercing shells to execute daytime attacks that obliterate most abyssals. They are also the only class as of now that have ships capable of performing special multi-target attacks. There are three types of battleships. First is the battleship or BB. They are the normal battleship, big guns, heavy armor, and slow. Second is the aviation battleship or BBV. They still have heavy armor and are slow, but they trade some firepower for the ability to bring seaplane fighters and bombers. The latter allows them to attack submarines directly. Third is the fast battleship or FBB. Like the name suggests, they are fast. Some ships in this category also have the ability to equip torpedoes. So what are carriers, you may ask? Let me tell you a story. A long time ago some caveman guy figured out a way to throw a spear with less effort. Several centuries later, some Roman guy named Tom thought he could do the same but shoot bigger things and made the ballista. More centuries later humans would take the same idea, put it on the ocean, turn the bow into a catapult and shoot pure concentrated yeet. That's what carriers are. Carriers in the game are very valuable ships to have. Outside of a few exceptions, they are the only ships capable of carrying fighters and bombers. They can conduct multi-target opening strikes, provide your fleet with defensive air power, and deal crippling damage to abyssals. There are three types of carriers in this game and one unique subtype. First is the standard aircraft carrier, the CV. They tend to have rather large hangar space. Armored aircraft carriers or CVB are CVs with more armor. There are currently only 4 implemented in the game. CVBs are extremely useful for their high survivability, and acquisition of one is one of the most commonly recommended goals for new players. Light aircraft carriers, CVL, are CVs with toilet paper for armor and tend to have smaller hangar space compared to the other carrier types. However, they are capable of attacking subs. Finally is the escort carrier or CVE. CVEs are a special subtype of CVLs that come with anti-sub stat by default. These carriers are specialized for anti-sub combat. Many details mentioned here will no doubt make no sense, but they will be covered in following videos. Imagine the Toyota war truck, now turn it into a boat and put more guns on it. That's what heavy cruisers are. In the game, heavy cruisers are an important all-in-one master tool of a ship class. They can provide decent daytime firepower, they can spare an equipment slot or two for extra utility, they can absorb a decent amount of damage, they can even provide anti-air if you need it. Truly a ship that would make Toyota pickup owners jealous. The vast majority of heavy cruisers are standard heavy cruisers or CA. As we've established, they can equip a vast arsenal of weapons and gear that match your specific needs. However, it is the other type of heavy cruiser, the aviation cruiser or CAV, that takes the Toyota warboat and cranks it up to 1000. CAVs have access to more equipment such as seaplane fighters and anti-installation rockets.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
Though at a glance all light cruisers may look like lighter and generally weaker cruisers, especially compared to their heavier counterparts, they are in fact ships specialized for certain roles. While many of your first light cruisers will be best used for nighttime operations, some can be best used for anti-air, and others for anti-sub warfare. Some can even be brought to fill certain needs when ships that traditionally fill those needs cannot be sent out. In some ways you can say light cruisers are the special forces of your fleet. There are two kinds of light cruisers you will be using for most of your time playing. Almost all are normal light cruisers or CLs. As established, they are best employed for specific roles. The other is torpedo cruiser, CLT. If CLs have cardboard for armor, CLTs have tissue paper for armor. But they are able to fire opening torpedoes that can potentially kill abyssals before the main fighting starts. They also come with absurdly high torpedo ability, which makes them very deadly at night. Why that is will be explained in a later video. Ever had a Swiss Army knife and wished it could have more tools? Ever wish you had a Swiss Army knife that had all the tools? Now imagine that, but with military equipment. Now on the ocean and as a boat. That's a destroyer. Sometimes you need more utility that even the Toyota warboats can't handle. Fear not, for destroyers can handle the job. They can clean the skies, sweep the surface, and even deep clean the ocean floor. All yours for the low price of telling Tanaka to go fuck himself. You can tell him I said that. Destroyers are commonly referred to as DD in this game. That's it, there are no other type of destroyer in this game. Yet. There are 9 classes of ships that fall into a larger other category. So I will machine gun them to you. Coastal defense ships or DAs are the ships you want to use to say no to subs. That's all they're good for. AVs are seaplane tenders, think CV but seaplanes. Some are very good, some not so much. Submarines are SS, and submarine airplane carriers are SSV. They have unique combat rules, but they have very limited usefulness. Amphibious assault ships are LHAs, they're supposed to be good for attacking installations, but nobody really uses them for that right now. As are submarine tenders, they don't do anything special with subs and nobody really uses them yet. Fleet oilers are AOs, they refuel your fleet mid-excursion. They occasionally see some use in events. AR is for repair ship. Akashi is the only one and she can repair the fleet. She is the flagship of with repair cranes. She also has her own entire game mechanic we will cover in another video. Finally is training cruisers, CTs. They boost your EXP gain from PvP when you bring them along in your PvP fleet. This ends the not so brief explanation of ship classes available to you in the game. There's much more depth that needs to be covered with ship classes and their roles, but hopefully this was enough to help you get a basic grasp of the concepts. In the next video we will go over stats and gear to prepare you to understand combat in KanColle. I'll see you in the next basics.